So still on the subject of the way forward as far as the quest for the value for time and then life is concerned. We have seen various aspects. With this episode, we want to also talk about another very interesting subject. When we talk of respect for time, respect for life, we are talking of purpose, as we made mention in the previous episode. Another way is through knowledge and then enlightenment. Through reading, you enjoy intercourse with superior minds. And then one of the ways that I have personally found that it makes you much focus in life is when you are an ardent student or you are hungry and thirsty for knowledge. My joy is that we can raise a new crop of Ghanaians and an African youth that will be given to the pursuit of knowledge. Statements like, if you want to hide something from a black man, place it in a book, should not continue its impact in our time. These should be ancient cliches that should have even outlived its relevance. But unfortunately, it is still true because the black man will never read. So much so that we have a kind of educational system that the average person is able to complete university, and then after completion starts working. 5 years into working, the person has not read a single book in his life. How pathetic that you can be a graduate and then 5 years after completion you have not read a single book, whether on relationship, whether on spirituality, whether on nation building, whether on personal finances, whether on personal life development, even whether on your career pursuit and professionalism. You have not read a single book in your life. How do you expect to add value to yourself? When you keep at this pace, then you find that a junior of you can be promoted earlier than you. And then you will be chasing witches and wizards. You will be chasing men of God and prophets for anointing oils. And then you will be telling them that you have been at a job for 5 years, but you have not been promoted. But somebody came 2 years and then he has been promoted. And that your boss does not like you. And that, you feel that there are demonic forces, there are witches and wizards, against you. We are not ignorant of the role or the place of these demonic, staffs. But we cannot keep on alluding to these things. We cannot be steeping our minds and our failures, our crises, almost every day to the world of the spirit. Most of the tears of Africa, most of the challenges that we go through, the crisis that we are in most cases has little to do even with spiritual forces. In most times, it is the weakness of our choices, decisions, and actions, and its ramifications that come upon us. So it is of very much, importance that knowledge and enlightenment will help you to focus on time consciousness. Because the more books you are reading, the more videos you are checking on YouTube, and with that I'm talking of useful videos, the more sites that you are visiting that impacts knowledge to you, what happens is that you are rubbing your feeble mind with superior minds. And after that rub, your life and your mind will never remain the same. Abraham Lincoln is often quoted to have said that 5 years from now, your life will still be the same, with exception for two things that you'll be doing. One is the kind of books you read, and two is the kind of company that you keep. So he's saying that 5 years from now, it is most likely that perhaps you would have put on some weight and then all that. But 5 years from now, technically, you'll still remain the same person. what brings about change from his perspective, which is true, though not exhaustive, what I think, is that one, the kind of books you read. In other words, the source of your information is very critical. If you are listening to me, don't align yourself with media houses that have become fully partisan, and for their parochial interests, they are pushing filthy and wrong diagnosis and assessment and analysis of the data, facts and figures, and they are just cooking stars for us. No, don't be a lazy researcher. Know things for yourself. Decide things for yourself. One way to make you very much time conscious is to be committed to the aspect of study. The best form of education is not certification. The best form of education is self-education. We've already defined education as what? As a commitment to lifelong learning. Lifelong learning in order to what? To add value to yourself, to position you to be able to solve the problems of the society. It is more than a possibility, as we have always been saying. So what is the point here? The point here is that chase after books. Desiderius Erasmus is often also quoted as saying, he said that when I have money, I buy books. And when some is left, I buy food and clothing. Look at what he's saying. He said that when I get money, I buy books. And after buying books, when I have some left, I then consider buying food and then clothing. This is the way history makers are made. This is the way that brings about changes in the system. If you want to be an impact maker, if you want to be a history maker, if you want to be that kind of person, a mover and shaker of our generation, then you must consider giving yourself to much knowledge and giving yourself to enlightenment. When you start doing that, it will put you on your toes. Yes, it is true that knowledge of itself does not transform, but rather it prepares you to transform you, because it gives you certain necessary perspectives that if you are able to latch onto and commit by way of discipline and obedience to those principles, then you are going to get the fruit of the issue that we are talking about. Fellow Ghanaians, especially my fellow youth, we have wasted enough time with our personal lives. Ghana as a nation, we have wasted enough time. Next week, Monday, we are going to, have a period where we are going to celebrate our independence. 66 years down the line, we are still not satisfied with the kind of leadership that we have. That is the poverty of leadership. 66 years down the line as a nation, we cannot boast of a single problem that we can say that, oh, before independence, we had these problems. After independence, at least 66 years down the line, we have been able to solve this particular problem. It is a sad reality that not even one problem has been solved to the fullest. Electricity problem? No. Still in the 21st century, here in Ghana, there are a number of places that there is still no access to electricity. So till date, we have not been able to solve the electricity problem or the problem of power of Ghanaians, and by extension Africa. Is it education? We have not. Yes, we are on it, but there is no problem that we have been able to exhaust. Or is it that I am being verbose, or is it that I am being overly critical? But I think that 66 years is a very good stretch of time for us to what? to have some of these data to be able to say that for this problem of unemployment, we have been able to solve it. For this problem, even flooding, we have not been able to solve it. How much more economic crisis? How much more unemployment? How much more all those other aspects of our economy, and then even at the national level? The point is clear. Until we commit ourselves to diligence, until we commit ourselves to the pursuit of knowledge, and until we commit ourselves to enlightenment, when we stay in our ignorance and in indifference, then Ghana and Africa, only God knows what will become out of it. The truth is, the statistics or the data is scary. The truth of the matter is that we are sitting on a ticking time bomb, and it is time for us to arise. The figures are alarming, but all hope is not yet lost. If we are going to commit ourselves to these things, commitment to lifelong learning as a way to put ourselves on our toes, that we are going to commit to the value for the respect of time, and then the value of the dignity of humans, or human dignity. The kind, the speed and extent of transformation in Ghana and Africa is going to be extremely phenomenal. If you may need any help with suggested books, sites, articles, journals, publications, in order to help you on the subject matter of discipline and time consciousness, you can reach out to us, and then we will be very glad to be of help to you as well. Stay blessed.